As rentals skyrocket in some areas in the U.S., it may not make sense to rent due to the insanely high rent in some areas. But are you ready for homeownership? Let's explore your options of purchasing versus renting a home right after this. Whether you rent or purchase your home is a big decision, and timing can be key. Let's take a look at when and why you would rent and when and why you would purchase a home. Here are some considerations when it comes to renting. One of the considerations you want to keep in mind when it comes to renting is your location. Is the rent reasonable there, or is it incredibly out of reach? Are you between a rock and a hard place? So think about the lower payments that you may be paying with rent. That can allow you to save a longer period of time for a large down payment down the road when you're ready to buy. You also want to think about things if you're renting long-term, like school district. If you have children or may have children while you're living in that space, the school district and the schools in the neighborhood could make a big difference for you. Are you in a neighborhood where you get to walk to downtown and enjoy all the amenities of the area? These are just things to keep in mind when it comes to the location of your rental. Consider that this may be a temporary situation. Would it be advantageous to you if you're going to be moving soon, changing jobs soon, marrying or unmarrying soon, or if you travel often with work? If this is a temporary situation, that's going to be a big factor in whether you're renting or purchasing. Hey, if you'd like investment or planning clarification, then please feel free to leave a comment, send a message, or if you want to get valuable details on the truth about money, then go to judycopenbarger.com and click the green Discover the Truth button. It is there that we put together a great in-depth course that will give you insight and actionable steps to help you secure a future that will put you in a positive direction financially for generations to come. So now let's look at considerations for purchasing. When, how, and why you'll know whether you're ready. The first thing's to consider the down payment. Obviously, the more money you put down as a down payment, the less your monthly cost will be because your mortgage will be less. You want to also consider to avoid too low of a down payment because you don't want to trigger mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is a requirement if you are borrowing less than 80% of the equity. So the question is, when will I have enough to buy? An important consideration is when you qualify for a loan. So you want to think about FHA loan. That's generally a source of loan monies for first-time buyers. If you're a veteran, if you're involved in a credit union, there might be many options for you as a first-time buyer to put less money down and maybe even do an end run on that mortgage insurance requirement. When you're ready to buy, or you think you might be, consider getting a pre-qualification letter. This is a letter that you can request from a lender or from a banker that may offer a mortgage to you. And it's a letter that says, here's how much you can afford. Here's how much risk we can take for you, how much you can borrow, and it'll give you the scope of values in which you can shop for a home. It's a very important first step if you think you're ready to buy a home. Another consideration is avoiding that mortgage insurance that we talked about. Keep in mind that to get into a home, you may have to pay mortgage insurance for a period of time because you don't have enough for that down payment. But remember, when the loan drops to 78% of the value of your home, which means your home is increasing, you're making payments, both things are happening at the same time. When you get to that magic 78% mortgage to value, you can drop that insurance. So make sure you stay on top of this. The mortgage company isn't going to stay on top of it for you. One of the things you can do right now to help you is subscribe right now so you can receive notice of our next real estate video, which is called, Should I Put a Higher Deposit Down on My Home Purchase? This video will help you determine your best course of action regarding putting a higher deposit when you're ready to purchase that home. When we're thinking about buying a home, another consideration is the appreciation. When you rent, your rent's going to go up. When you own your home, the value of your home is going to go up, ideally, right? We know there are market cycles, but over time, chances are a house that you bought 20 years ago is worth more, if it's properly maintained, today than it was back then. So it's a good thing to have appreciation. And if you look across the whole United States, and it really makes a difference what region you're in, you can plan on a 5 to 8% appreciation in home value. And just remember, it does vary by area. Another advantage to owning a home is the tax deductions. So you're paying that mortgage every month, just like you're paying rent, but a portion of that mortgage will be deductible for you on your income tax returns. And that can really make a difference over time. You have depreciation. If you've never owned a home, you might think, well, depreciation is the opposite of appreciation. How can that help me? But it does. Depreciation has to do with the value of the home every year on your personal income taxes that you get to deduct. It's a percentage every year over many years. And that can really make a difference for you. You have that mortgage interest deduction. If you have a home office or a home business with an office in your home, that can be additional deductions for you. Extra expenses, extra help from IRS to pay those expenses. Another thing to think about is property taxes. This is an expense that you didn't have when you were renting. So you want to know what the percentage of property tax is, what that translates to in dollars, and whether you're in an area that increases property taxes over time or not. Now, you may be fortunate enough to live in a region that doesn't have property tax. Those exist. So you want to know your area, know what the taxes are that would apply. There will also be expenses that maybe you didn't see coming. If you're in an area that has a home ownership association, that's an ongoing fee that you're going to have on top of your interest, on top of your insurance, on top of your mortgage, and on top of everything else that goes into maintaining your home. So it won't just be that dollar that you spent every month for rent, it's that dollar plus these other expenses. And you want to go in with your eyes open, so check it all out before you sign on the dotted line. And just like when you're renting, this may be a long-term investment in your community. When you buy, we're usually thinking we're going to be there a while. Make sure you know the schools, if they apply to you. Make sure you know the shopping. Make sure you know the culture in the area. Sometimes it makes sense to rent in an area or have a good friend that lives in the area you're considering buying in and spend time there before you invest in a property in a certain community. And just like renting, timing is going to play a big role. Interest rates fluctuate. That's going to play a part in when is the best time for you to purchase property. There are also general real estate cycles. The value of properties go up. The value of properties come down in general. There's cycles around that. But also in your particular area that you're looking to purchase in, there's a supply and demand that's going to be driving property values there. And I think above all else, when you're looking at all the considerations of, am I ready to buy? Is it the right time to buy for me? You want to just do a deep dive on your general readiness. Am I prepared for home ownership? The responsibilities that come with maintaining the property, paying all those bills on time so you don't end up risking a foreclosure, which is when you lose your house. You don't risk some kind of a tax lien because you couldn't pay your taxes or chose not to. You want to make sure that you're ready financially, you're ready emotionally, and you're ready in your life to invest in your community and buy that home. Now that you know more about the home, renting versus purchasing for you and your family, you can share this information with others. I encourage you to like and share this video and click the bell to be informed of our newest money videos as soon as they're released. And comment below what you've learned about your experience with renting and home purchases and what you'd like to learn next. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Judy Copenbarger. God bless.